Have you ever met someone who lived so quietly that the world forgot him? Until the day his silence changed an entire village. Far away in the mountains there lived an old man named Yusuf. He wasn't rich, he wasn't famous. In fact, most people thought of him as a little strange. Why? Because he never joined the noise. He didn't argue in the market. He didn't chase after trends. He didn't even own a radio. Instead, Yusuf spent his days walking in the forest, listening to the wind, to the stream, to the birds. At first, the villagers laughed at him. "Why waste your life sitting in silence?" they'd say. But Yusuf smiled and kept walking. One summer, a terrible drought hit the valley. The river dried up, crops failed, and animals grew weak. The once cheerful village became filled with anger. People shouted at each other, blamed one another, and even fought over small buckets of water. The mayor called meetings, but every gathering ended in arguments. Voices grew louder, hearts grew colder. But Yusuf, he stayed silent. One morning, a group of children followed Yusuf into the forest. They saw him digging small holes in the dry ground. "What are you doing?" they asked. "Planting silence," Yusuf replied, as he dropped seeds into the earth. Day after day, he carried water from the last remaining spring to feed those little seeds. The children laughed at first, but slowly, curiosity pulled them back. Some began to help. Then their parents noticed. Then the whole village came. Without a single speech, without a single order, Yusuf had gathered the community. Working together, they planted trees across the valley. Months passed. The rains finally returned. The forest Yusuf started grew, and with it, streams began to trickle again. The soil softened, crops revived, but something even greater happened. The villagers stopped fighting. They realized that silence had taught them more than arguments ever could. They discovered that working quietly together heals more than shouting apart. When people asked Yusuf what his secret was, he simply said, "The world is loud, but growth happens in silence." In our lives, too, we're surrounded by noise, notifications, opinions, endless voices. But the real changes, healing, patience, self-growth, they bloom in silence. Silence is not empty. It's full of answers.